Okay, I have to run to another meeting, so maybe I can do this before that. Don't want to rush it, but nonetheless, we are going to look at the descriptions of early warnings that we just mentioned in the previous podcasts, other relevant monitoring systems, and then we look at some tools and models. So this is the integrated purchasing collection and something habilisé, French word. Integrated purchase classification and cater harmonisé. There you go. So this is run by Food FAO and World Food Program and multiple partners. What does it do? Basically, IPC provides decision makers with core estimates of severity and magnitude of acute and chronic food insecurity and malnutrition using evidence and consensus-based analysis to inform emergency responses as well as medium and long-term policy and programming. So that's a fairly large mandate in terms of what they do. Famine Early Warning System Network. So this is run by USAID. FuseNet provides unbiased evidence-based analysis to governments and relief agencies that plan for and respond to humanitarian crises. Its analysis also support resilience and development programming. FuseNet posts monthly reports on several dozen countries, primarily in sub-Saharan Africa. It's been around for a while and closely watched. Vulnerability analysis and mapping and hunger map, so that's live. This is the World Food Program. VAM1 provides vulnerability data for food security analysis and monitoring and real-time nowcasting of food security situations in more than 80 countries to inform WFP planning and resourcing. So near real time. That's fantastic. VAM2 carry consolidated approach for reporting indicators of food security, again by WFP. This provides snapshots of acute food insecurity situations based on multiple indicators, including food consumption scores, food energy shortfall, poverty status, food expenditure shares, and livelihood coping strategies. WFP uses this information to identify need for emergency interventions. VAM3, this is another WFP Global Market Monitor. WFP's monthly Global Market Monitor provides information on changes in the cost of basic food baskets, alerts for price spikes in local markets and domestic inflation and currency movements, as well as an overview of global food commodity price developments. Price information is publicly available and covers more than 1,500 markets. Okay. GIWS, Global Information and Early Warning Systems, run by FAO, continuously monitors food supply, demand, prices, and other key indicators at global and national levels for assessing the overall food security situation in most countries of the world. So there are more in this table that I have cut off. So let's just, they are along the same way. All the ones that we looked at, Food Security Portal 1, 2, and so on and so forth. Tools and models. FPRI, Food Policy Research Institute, has developed a wide set of tools to support early warning, analysis, and food crisis response. Food Security Portal provides access to databases and alert systems that monitor changes in agri-food markets, fertilizer markets, agricultural production and stocks, as well as country-level vulnerability, and that track policy responses to crises. IFPRI also supports analytic models that provide projections of crisis and policy impacts. Okay, so each one has a QR code that you can scan. Early warning and data tracking tools. Food Security Portal that we mentioned before, FSP 1, 2, etc. Facilitated by IFPRI and supported by the European Commission. The portal provides food security alerts and open access to country-level data, analytic tools, and research products to help policymakers and other stakeholders respond to developments in the world food system. The tools described here, along with many others, are available through the portal, which you can scan here. Excessive food price variability early warning system. The details here are impressive, right? There's a bit of a discontinuity here because I got cut off, but let's start again on this toolbox here. Remember, we are looking at early warning systems, tools and models. we'll look at some more early warning systems in the next podcast. So excessive food price variability early warning system identifies high volatility in markets which can jeopardize food security to alert farmers, traders, processors and policymakers of upcoming uncertainty in prices for staple crops. Obviously, staple crops are critical because many low-income and developing countries really rely on those, and they cannot afford to import those many times. But if those prices go up and down or keep varying too much in short periods, they can face all kinds of issues. It's always how much room you have in the budget to deal with crises, and food security is such an important item on the budget that if you are waiting to do resilience or climate action or development activity, then the budget will get redirected to protecting the food system or food markets and prices and so on. So it can really throw a monkey wrench into the whole budget process, as well as GDP and other things if one is not careful. Early Warning Hub brings together a number of major early warning systems from international organizations, providing information on the latest food security alerts and situations on the ground. So it's like a clearinghouse of multiple systems. A control panel for risk monitoring, so a dashboard literally, allows real-time monitoring of risk factors for food crises, including data on conflict, COVID-19, crop conditions, and climate-related satellite data. So it gives you a multi-item data set to look at your own food security and what decisions you may have to make. Obviously, these are very critical for all the poor countries. Food and Fertilizer Export Restrictions Tracker tracks records country policies that restrict food exports and chemical fertilizer exports that can contribute to food insecurity and their likely impact in terms of US dollar value and kilocalories. So the invasion of Ukraine by Russia led to this in a very strange way. Not only food prices and gas energy market, but also fertilizer market got perturbed. So these are really important. One of the or two of the main things that farmers have to worry about is water and of course fertilizer, right? So fertilizer market dashboard then provides several data sets to monitor fertilizer markets, including the latest monthly prices of major fertilizers and natural gas, a key input in fertilizer production, and a country profiles of fertilizer trade and use. Okay, hopefully they're all being used in a good way, because the people who bet on markets, climate derivatives, weather derivatives, will try to make money on anything that can go up or down, so they can be ruthless about somebody's vulnerability, leading to an opportunity to make more money. Price Shock tool allows interactive exploration of the impact of commodity price changes on poverty for a set of vulnerable countries. So using some index, the VAM, vulnerability analysis and mapping kind of things, to make a list of countries that need to be tracked for the Price Shock tool. Production and stocks monitoring system provides data on 4 major commodities covering production, domestic consumption, ending stocks, and stock to use ratios by country and across time to monitor vulnerability of world food markets. Okay. RIAPA, IFPRI's Rural Investment and Policy Analysis RIAPA modeling system, offers forward-looking, economy-wide, country-level analysis that serves as a simulation laboratory for different policies, investments, or economic shocks. RIAPA covers over 30 countries and includes detailed representation of agri-food systems that allows analysts to measure impacts to food systems, national economies, and global markets. A series of RIAPA analysis on the impact of Russia-Ukraine war are found here. Okay, so Russia-Ukraine war is dragging on. Already that has been included in the RIAPA analysis, which is really useful for many countries which are affected either by energy markets or by food markets, fertilizer availability, and so on. Impact model, it's a model acronym, to explore the long-term challenges policymakers face in sustainably reducing hunger and poverty. IFPRI developed the International Model for Policy Analysis of Agricultural Commodities and Trade. That stands for IMPACT. IMPACT is a network of linked economic, water, and crop models, allowing it to account for environmental, biophysical, and socioeconomic trends in simulations of national and international agricultural markets. It covers 44 commodities that make up nearly all of the world's food production and consumption. Information on impact and simulation results are found here. Okay, so I will leave this podcast because I want it to stand by itself in terms of what systems exist for monitoring, early warning, and tools and models related to the food security crisis, food prices, fertilizer markets, and other vulnerabilities in the food system, okay, at a global level and at country levels. So those are very useful. I'm not the one who has ever used them, so I'm just reporting it as it is, and I'm being very brief and not being a real expert. I hope I haven't missed any main points there that an expert would add as a commentary along the way. But this is a very nice report that you should read up, and there are lots of nice references as well if you're interested in further details. Okay.